Happy Monday, everyone.
Happy Monday. Today is all about nutrition, so C will take the stage and tell you more about the nutrition part. Today is March already, so we are entering the Women's Month because we have the International Women's Day soon. And we will tell you more about, like C will tell you more about the woman and then the nutrition part. So C, can you tell us more what will be
Yes.
in this episode?
When we talk about food, it's mostly linked to the body shape. So there's always you want to either gain weight or to
Lose
lose
weight.
weight. Yes. Especially growing up in Asia with an Asian family, there's always two things you talk about in family gathering. First of all is your relationship status. Second of all is either you're too skinny, you're too chubby, you need to eat more, you need to eat less. Sometimes it's all in one sentence. I mean, on paper, it looks like women are more empowered than ever. We talked about Women's Day panel, body positive hashtag, and wellness everywhere. But I think in real life, at family gatherings, dinners, in changing rooms, Zoom calls, many of us are still at war with our body. So today, in order to celebrate Women's Day, we are talking about body image between cultures. I'll share more on how food and nutrition can support your body and more gentle self-talk instead of more rules. So if you ever feel like you have doubts about your body and you need a bit of support from the community, this episode is for you. Well, today is not here to fix your body, but maybe here to question the rules that you were given about your body, and maybe you can put them in the recycling bin.
Yes, and I think with the whole social media around us, people around us, and this on the paper it looks good, but it's hard to keep with this positive attitude.
To begin with, like I said, in Asian family, the comments about bodies are very normal. People will come and greet you and say, "Hey, you have gained weight," like usual, "How are you?" In a lot of East Asian culture, being thin is openly celebrated. So people will comment on your weight the way they comment on the weather. Wow, you lost
That's
weight. You look
crazy.
great. Yeah, there's no apology for this. It's very intrusive.
I think here in like Europe we're more close to that, so we often do some comments like that, but we try to keep it more private. So people will take you aside and ask you, "Are you okay?" or "Are you pregnant?" or something like that. That's more of a secret, but still is a huge topic.
It's definitely affecting people's mind and their emotions as well. If you're being constantly judged almost
Yes.
by your body shape, either you're being too thin or too chubby. Growing up for me as well, I've always been on the thinner type of body, and you have no idea how many times my family, my friends are always coming to me and say I look thin, and I really don't like that actually. I'm trying to gain more weight and become more chubby because of these comments. And it's really have a toll on my mental health. And this is where culture meets nervous system. If food is tied to love, safety, or being like a good daughter or a good girl, you're not eating to satisfy hunger. Like me, I'm eating to satisfy being a good Chinese daughter or a good Chinese relative because my cousins or family always say that I'm too thin, right? So I'm eating basically to satisfy my roles and expectation. So definitely, I want to encourage you all to just simply noticing for your next time when you're reaching out for food, am I eating it because I'm hungry, or I'm stressed, or I'm trying to be polite or trying to be loved. I think this is a good reminder for ourselves just to, some of the rules are maybe not useful anymore. And remember one story vividly when I was in the boarding school. So we have Asian, we have Chinese, we have Western students. And I'm talking about when I am maybe just 15, 16. I remember there are one or two Chinese students, they eat a lot during mealtime. They are very, very skinny, and but they never gain weight, but they eat so much, especially the Western food is all about cakes, high calorie
Yes.
food. So I sometimes wonder why they never gain weight by the amount of food they eat. And then I realized one day they actually go to the bathroom every time after a meal to vomit everything out because they want the sensation and satisfaction of eating, but they don't want to gain weight. And after learning that, I felt so sad actually for them because not that they cannot enjoy the food, they don't feel like they belong in their body, they don't feel good with their body. So body shaming has no boundaries, it's across culture, social norm, especially peer pressure, religion as well. Like I said, it's all linked to gut and mind and nervous system relationship.
Yes, I think that this story reminds me of stories that I hear mostly now around here in Poland. There are a lot of young people who are have problems with relationship with food because of the social media, because what is happening around us. And
Mm,
I think it's much more visible problem right now here than it was some years ago. I think we talk about it more with courage, but at the same time, it's so sad that people had such a relationship with food
mm,
and such a problems because I always feel sad about that because I remember my story. I shared it with UC before. When I was in my legal lawyer life, I was really, really thin. And I was, fitting every dress I could have in my wardrobe. I don't have problems with that. And I thought that that's the normal image of myself. But the thin body was not about the health body. I was so
mm,
stressed. I wasn't eating properly. I really, when I look at myself right now on the pictures, I didn't see a healthy person on these pictures. I see
mm,
really a person who struggles and all the stress is eating her inside, I can say. When I go to the spiritual journey and through my change, I started to take care of my body and take care of what I'm eating and other stuff. But at the same time, when my life slows down, all the disease and things that I avoid before come out to the light. So I started to have
mm.
health problems because when my
Okay.
body released the stress, there was a space for these problems to come out. So I gained almost 10, 15 kilos in 1 month because I
Wow.
wasn't grounded myself properly. So my body grounded it by itself with the kilograms. And I remember I was like stuck in these emotions that I don't want
Mm,
to live the stressful, fast life, but I want to be skinny and thin because I like that. I can fit in every skirt and I can, maybe be more healthy, like
mm.
eat healthier food and look healthier, but at the same time be thin. And right now
Yeah.
I'm in this slower life, try to do the meditation, learn new things. And I gained weight and didn't feel good about my body. And I remember that then I heard from one of my teacher that is it time for my body to relearn how I want to live. To
Mm,
like I need to deal with all the disease I wasn't aware of because of my fast life. My
yeah.
body needs to start a new healthy habit, but the disease needs to go out first.
Mm,
So this is why I started my Ayurvedic journey that I was talking in a previous episode. This is why I've done Panchakarma, and I'm right now I think in a good way still to achieve my dream healthy body at the same time with this thin and nice look. So I try to combine the nutrition, eat healthier in on the same hours. I try to, be more aware what I'm eating, how I eat. If
yeah.
I, as you said, eat out the emotions, or I try to be more physical aware. So I go to trainings and other stuff. But I remember this feeling that I was, in this perfect wellness journey and the body isn't there as I like it. And I remember this
Yeah.
feeling, how I was feeling. So the story you share about the boarding school, it reminds me of that feeling of not being able to accept what is happening with my body. And I think
Mm.
the important thing is to be aware that our bodies change. And I know right now my body is different in a different parts of the year, in a different days of the cycles as a woman, of course. So it's really important to be aware that we are not the same person every day. We are different because of the people around us, because of our cycle, because what we
Yeah.
eat, what we have in life. And of course, when I'm have a stressful period of time or whenever I'm sick, I feel different that I'm in, in the lovey bubble, and in a good phase of my cycle when I feel all the energy around me. So my information for you all here is to just give your body a space to heal if it needs it, and just do the baby steps as we always hear. Because first, I just want to, quit everything and just go back to the skinny side of me. But I knew right now is a journey, and I really feel good about my body right now. But at the same time, I still feel that I can be more healthier for myself, not more thinner, but more healthier for myself. And I'm still in this journey.
I remember when, now that you share the journey you went through, the Chinese students that we were sharing in the boarding school, I don't remember them being happy at all. Most of the time, I feel like they're stressed because of how they look, and they're also not enjoying their food. So it goes back to that the relationship between food and your body and your mind, how it affects you and it affects your emotions as well. So really, that's really the gut and brain communicating with each other
Yeah,
through the
can you
system.
tell us more about it? What should we do here?
Yeah, there are trillions of tiny organisms living in our gut. It's called the gut microbiome. So it helps with digestion and also affecting our brain and mental health, so which I talked about before. And studies really shown that having a healthy gut will lead to a lower anxiety and depression. So some of the gut bacteria produce chemicals like serotonin and dopamine, it will influence our mood and also feelings as well. So since the gut produces, I think, about 90% of the serotonin in our body, a healthy gut can really help to boost your mood and mental wellness as well. So being in a stress situation like you were and like my Chinese students friends, can seriously affect our gut health. So when we're stressed, it leads to issues like a leaky gut. So it will cause inflammation and it changes the gut bacteria as well. At the same time, problems can increase anxiety. So it's a vicious cycle. The more you worry about it, the more your gut health is not
Yes.
great. And then when your gut health is not great, you're more anxious and stressed about it. So
Yeah, I
it,
remember one time, like I was really in a bad mood and I was trying to, lose weight as soon and as much as possible, and I was gaining it. And then I go to the workshops and I started to, do the breathing sessions with my body and do the meditation more. And when I slow down and just really try to accept what is happening, that was the key, the first step to just then the good food that I was eating starting to, make the changes. But first I need to just, slow down and try to accept what is happening and try to not be so focused about how I can lose the weight or how I can be healthier. Just sit
exactly.
and accept for a while.
And even new research has suggested that imbalance in the gut bacteria will link to some of the brain disorder like autism, Parkinson disease as well, because again, we go back to the inflammation in the gut. It sends signal that affect how our brain works. So it really shows a clear connection between gut and health and the brain health as well.
I think like everything is connected, everything matters. We are need to be more aware of that because I think people are slightly okay, I will eat this, I will eat not on the normal hours, I will not eat dinner, or I will just skip
That's true,
breakfast,
yeah.
and they don't think that is a thing. But as we said in the previous episode, it's all about consistency. Our body needs to have like the rhythm to follow. We talk about it in the yoga philosophy episodes a lot.
Yes. Yeah, so if you ask me what are the food that will help to support gut health, definitely something that contains probiotics and prebiotics food. So, for example, yogurt or garlic as well. So, these are some of the options. Definitely high fiber food as well and whole grain. So, food like oats, quinoa, yam, I shared last time, and millet too. In Asia, some of us, we actually cook our apple and pear because when it's cooked, I don't know if you try that, Magda, actually.
I tried to cook pear, but I
Ah,
didn't
okay.
try to cook apple.
Ah, okay. So once you've cooked it, it's much more easier to absorb in your gut.
Okay.
So it's easier for absorption, it's nourishing as well. So perhaps you could try that next time. You can try other food like sweet potatoes as well
Yeah.
and healthy fats like avocado. So these will definitely help to support your gut health. And if you ever feel like you want to boost your mood, some of the food that will also help. I would say some food that contains serotonin will help that. For example, dark chocolate. So I always have some dark chocolate in my drawers at work. So whenever I feel like I need some energy boost or
Some
in
support
the
from
late
food.
afternoon, yes, and some support, or I receive an email that I don't want to see, I'll have some dark chocolate. It's easy, accessible, and berries as well. It contains a high level of antioxidants, so it will help to improve your brain health. And one thing that I always also in my drawer, it's nuts. And different types of seeds. So it's good for energy and for healthy fats as well. So the trick is to buy dark chocolate with nuts inside. That's really my favorite.
And with berries inside.
Oh, that's true.
Maybe
Dry
they
berries.
will they can create that kind of chocolate because I never seen a dark chocolate with nuts and with berries. We need to
That is,
put
yeah,
that
that's
an
true.
idea to the world. Let's
That's true.
create a perfect chocolate for boosting your mood.
I always ask my friends to try to get me dark chocolate with nuts if they go travel and they find good ones because it's like you said, it's hard to find. And sometimes even when they are, I think this is what I want to share. Sometimes even they label it as dark chocolate,
But
but
it's not
the
dark chocolate.
but it's not dark chocolate. On the label, it says maybe just 60%. Well, 60% is still dark chocolate, but it's not dark enough, well, for me. So I always like dark chocolate as in like 70%, 80%, and even 90% is good. But it's rare. I don't find it often on the shelf. So I will look out for that. And
And I think you
definitely,
can make your own dark chocolate because I saw some recipes on Instagram that you can put some berries and some nuts maybe and just like melt the normal dark chocolate and try to
mm,
put it on the berries
that
and
is
the
a good
nuts.
idea.
So then you can create your homemade perfect chocolate from boosting your mood. I need to do that. I will try to do it and share it
Try
on
it and let me
Instagram.
know.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. And yeah, so I think overall it's important to create a positive relationship with food. Like you said, not to all of a sudden skip a meal, to stay consistent, have a consistent meal time, and perhaps mindful eating as well. So listen to your body. When you're hungry, you eat. When you're feeling full, you stop. It's also okay to enjoy your favorite treats, like we
Yes,
talked about in
this
the
is
previous
what I learned
episode.
after the Panchakarma. So, like after the Panchakarma, they tell me that after this 21 days of strict diet and restrict diet, I can just start to go back to my, normal routine, but try to be more aware what I eating. So I remember that I asked them, when I'm on my period, I like to eat some chocolate and some chips maybe or something like that. So should I eat that or just try to avoid it? And they said like it's much more easier for our body and it will make less damages if I eat a little bit of chocolate or a little bit of that chips when I have the, sense that I want to eat that. In
Exactly.
fact of not eating it and just trying, our brain and our body will just said like eat it, eat it, eat it, and eat it, and it will be much worse for my body. So right now, even after panchakarma, and I eat healthy, and I try to think what I'm putting into my body. I sometimes have a nice treat in the restaurant, or I just sometimes buy myself a chips or a normal chocolate, not dark chocolate. And it's okay if you just eat it from time to
Exactly.
time. Just remember about the amount. As we said in some previous episode, don't take the whole pack of chips or bar of chocolate. Just like place it on the bowl or on the
You
plate.
remember?
Yeah, I
Yes,
remember. I
yes.
have a good memory, as we said in the previous episode.
Sure.
So just to, I think it's easier for me because I started to put some treats in the bowls if I wanted after we record that episode. And I
Yeah.
remember that it's easy. Okay, I eat some of it. I don't need to eat more. I know that they're
Hmm.
still in the drawer, but I don't need to eat more. My appetite is already okay.
Exactly. And like you said, for us women, our hormones are changing all the time, especially before and after our cycles, especially, right? So
Yeah.
you will tend to maybe crave for some sort of food during that particular period. And it's totally okay to have what you're craving as well during those times. So don't be too harsh on yourself. That's definitely one of the things that I share with my clients and my friends as well. Just to, when you feel like you want to eat something, go for it. But of course, not binge eating, that's for sure. And then you can always go back to a more healthy diet on the next day, incorporate maybe colorful plates, more varieties of color. I think that's one of the things that I do too. Not just when I say eat more greens, it's not only just green, leafy greens, anything green, but then also incorporating vegetables or fruits in other color, red, orange, yellow, so to enhance that antioxidant or enhance that nutrient as well. So I think definitely some of the things that you could also incorporate, enjoy that meal, and don't feel shame about it.
Yeah, I think there is one thing in this area that social media do good. I saw a lot of reels when they show how women are different from the men because of their cycle. So we are sometimes I'm dead. I'm happy. I have a lot of energy and then I just like I don't want to
Exactly.
do anything. And I think that it's important for people to know that we are different because we sometimes force ourselves as women. I remember myself some years ago that I was forcing myself. I don't have energy, but I still want to be there and, act for people and just be fully for everybody. But right now, I really try to feel my body and my energy. If I have energy for that, or if I don't have energy for that, if I have energy for a strong training or just for a soft one. So I just really try to feel myself, how I feel in this particular day, because the next day might be really a different story.
So it's okay not to follow what your family eats, what your friends eat, or even what your partner eats. It's okay to have your create your own plate. It's okay to eat whenever you want. Remember, you're not just changing the way how you eat. It's basically you're gently reparenting yourself across different cultures, religions, expectations, and social norms. So I hope this you could reflect on this and really think about it next time when you reach out for that food or reach out for that dish.
Yeah, and I know it sometimes might be hard. Just take a few breaths and just try to relax and live your own life. Remember, it's your life, it's your body, it's your health. So just choose what is good for you. And if you need some extra support, just go back few episodes before. We were having an episode about self-love, how we think what self-love is, how we were working on that. So that might be a helpful episode for you to watch. Hope you like this episode and don't forget to leave us a like, comment, and don't forget to subscribe our channel because next week we will be celebrating Women's Day
Women's
again.
Day, yes.
Yeah. So we will have some tips for you to follow to, be more strong, more independent. Some
Confident.
tips for like public speaking. Yeah, there will be a lot there. So don't forget to spend Mondays with us.
See you next week.
See you next Monday. Bye.